Hey everyone, how's it going? Forrest here, again with another installment of my complete analysis of all 389 Bach chorale harmonizations. Today we have Das Neugeborene Kindlein, which translates to the newborn little child. Fairly straightforward analysis. Definitely was looking forward to the short chorale because I had a long day today, so we should probably just hop right into the analysis. I could talk about the interesting bits as we go along. So we're in the key of, I already had G minor there from my previous take, but I'll just leave it to make sure I don't have any messy erasing marks. But yeah, two flats in the key signature, start on G minor, end on G major. We're probably in the key of G minor. We have a passing tone in the bass, and then we have B flat, D, G, and G. That's a first inversion G minor triad, passing tone in the alto, A, D, B flat, G. I reckon this A is it's an accented non-chord tone, so all that's happening here is we're going back to root position. F sharp, D, A, and D. That is a D major triad in first inversion, or 5-6. Little delayed seventh in the soprano. G, D, G, B flat, root position tonic triad, passing tone in the tenor, B flat, D, G, and D is a first inversion G minor triad, A, E, F sharp, A, C, F sharp, and C. That's F sharp diminished in first inversion, so that would be 7-6 in the key of G minor. G, D, G, and B. That is a root position tonic triad. And then we cadence on D major, which tells us that our first cadence is a half cadence. Looking ahead, we have another cadence on D major, but this is actually a perfect authentic cadence in the key of D. And we'll talk about it when we get there. The melody sounds like it modulates in and around this E natural here, so that's what we're going to look for. So here we have B flat, D, G, and D. That is a tonic triad in first inversion, passing tone in the alto. Then we have A, B flat, A, G, B flat, and D. Again, this A is similar to the idea that we saw in the bass in the first measure. So this is just a tonic triad in root position. C sharp, G, B flat, E. This is a fully diminished 7th chord where C sharp is the root, so that would be 7-7 of 5. But because this E natural is here, it kind of sounds like we're moving to D minor territory. So let's just call this 7-7 now in the key of D. No need for the secondary dominant. And then we go D, F, A, and F. That is our tonic triad now in the key of D minor. We then have D, B natural, A, and F. That is a B half diminished, which is either 7 of 7 or a diminished 6 chord, a diminished 6-7 chord in first inversion, which happens when you use the melodic or harmonize the melodic minor scale. This B natural is supposed to be B flat in the key of D minor, but we raise it for the melodic passage. Then we have E, C sharp, G, and E. That is C sharp diminished over E, so that would be 7-6 in the key of D minor. And then we have F, D, F, and D. Is that right? F, D, F, and D. That is a tonic triad without a 5th, and it's a doubled 3rd as well, but it's in first inversion. We also have a passing tone in the bass. Then we have A, E, and C sharp. That is our 5 chord. A major in root position. The bass just leaps down, but all the other notes are kept the same. And then we cadence on D major. So we have a Picardy 3rd in the middle of the chorale, which is interesting. We saw one recently. I forgot the name of the chorale, but we saw one recently. And this right here, if we look ahead to our next cadence, we actually have a perfect authentic cadence in the key of B flat major, but we get to B flat major via G minor. So I think that this D is functioning like the dominant of G minor, which is really cool because we immediately kick it off in the key of G minor right here. It sounds exactly like G minor. And D, yeah, D is the dominant. I was miscalculating in my head. I was thinking, wait, D is the subdominant of G minor. No, C is the subdominant of G minor. But yeah, we kick it off right with the G minor triad in the next system. Then we have G, A, E, and C. And it's an E flat, sorry, G, A, E flat, and C. That's an A flat diminished, or A flat half diminished in third inversion. So they share a bass. So that would be a 2 chord. That's 4-2, and it's half diminished. And then it goes to F sharp, A, D, and A. 2 usually wants to go to 5, and it is here. That's a D major triad over F sharp, so 5-6. And then we have G minor, G, G, D, and B flat. There's our tonic triad, which is 5-6 is most likely location. Not always, but most likely. So here if we look at what happens in the inner voices, then the outer voices on the end of the same beat, we have A, E, G, and C. Another one of those 2 chords. This is a 2 half diminished 7th. And then this is where I think we modulate. This is where it starts to sound like B flat. Because I think this 2-7 is actually 7-7 in the key of B flat. It's the leading tone. And it immediately goes to a B flat chord, right? It goes to B flat, D, F, and D. So a tonic triad. We then have E, E, G, sorry, these are E flats, not E naturals, sorry, E flat, G, and C. That is a C minor triad over E flat, so that would be 2-6 in the key of B flat major. And you probably know what's going on. We're getting ready for a cadence, which is a perfect authentic cadence in B flat. Here we have F, D, F, and B flat, so 2-6 not going directly to 5, but rather going to 1-6-4, right? Because this is a B flat triad over F, second inversion. And then we have F, C, F, and A, root position F major triad, which is a 5 chord. You know, I use this silly bracket notation because the textbook tells you to. And then we have B flat, D, F, and B flat. A tonic triad and root position. Alright, next and last cadence is the perfect authentic cadence in the key of G minor. But we don't immediately modulate. I think the modulation happens around this F sharp. That's where it happens. Otherwise, the melody sounds like we're still in the key of B flat major. So let's analyze it as such. B flat, D, B flat, F. Another tonic triad and root position. No need to reanalyze. We then have E flat, C, B flat, and G. That's another 2 chord, but this time it's a 2-7 chord and it's in first inversion, so 2-6-5. And then we have F, C, A, and F. We have our 5 chord. Here's probably the most interesting harmonic part of the chorale. Where does this 5 chord go? It goes not to 1, but it goes to F sharp, A, and D. It goes to D major. It's like a deceptive cadence. In this case, D major would be, or over F sharp would be 5-6 of 6 because it's the dominant of G, and G is the 6th in the key of B flat. However, this is where I think we modulate to the key of G minor. This is our pivot chord, so we'll just call it 5-6. And if we look F sharp, D, A, and C, really the chord carries over. That C could imply a 7th. I usually don't analyze it unless it happens on the beat because Bach just likes these passing or delayed 7ths all the time. And then we have G, D, G, and B flat. There's our tonic triad. We now know we're in the key of G minor. And then we have our penultimate measure leading up into the cadential tonic triad. We have C, E flat, and A. That is an A diminished triad over C. That's our 2-6 chord. Bach loves his 2 chords in first inversion, sometimes 7th, sometimes otherwise. We then have D, B flat, D, and G. Again with another 2 chord going to a 1 chord in second inversion, just like how he did in the previous phrase. And then we have D, A, D, and F sharp. You see the 1, 6, 4 and the 5 chord working in conjunction with one another without any counterpoint, right? Because the harmonic rhythm stays consistent throughout the entire chorale, which makes it really easy for us to pull apart the harmonies, right? You see that the bass stays consistent, the alto stays consistent, the tenor steps down, and the soprano steps down, which is why 1, 6, 4, and 5 are usually paired together. And then of course we have a G major triad. On the last beat, Bach ends his minor chorales more often than not with a Picardy third. There's probably some type of symbolism ending with a major chord rather than with a minor chord. But that being said, I think some of the big takeaways from this chorale were perfect authentic cadence on a major chord turning into the dominant of another key. That's pretty interesting. And this progression right here, 5 going to 5, 6 of 6, that's a pretty interesting progression. Especially when it's preceded by a 2, 6, 5, it really sets up those expectations for you to have a 1 afterwards, and when you don't get it and you are like further prolonging the deception, really, because the deception happens right here at this G, because the G would be the 6, but we prolong it with its dominant, which is really interesting. But other than that, this was a very delightful chorale to analyze, very simple after a very long day. And that's my analysis. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching my videos, and thank you for continuing to support the channel. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's analysis, and I hope you take care.